Lab-grown diamonds, pros, cons, advantages, disadvantages. Coming up next on Pros and Cons by Piercer, Season 2, Episode number 61. So you might want to stick around. For those that are new to the channel, first off, welcome to the Body Piercing and Tattooing channel. Hope you're enjoying the videos. Hope you're finding them helpful and useful. But you might not know who this guy is. My name is DaVo. I'm a professional body piercer and have been since 1994. I own and I operate the Axiom Body Piercing Studio, located right here inside Skin Kitchen Tattoo. What we're going to talk about today is lab-grown or synthetic diamonds. The reason why I want to talk about this is I'm slowly starting to see them being used more and more in the body piercing industry. And whenever you use the word diamond, people get a little confused or they get a little excited. And I think it's important that you kind of think about this when you're choosing your jewelry and some of the pros and cons of not really so much of versus natural diamonds, but it kind of is. Basically, when it comes to lab-grown diamonds on a chemical and molecule level and everything else, it is exactly like a real, genuine diamond. The only difference is how it's produced and the amount of time it takes to produce it. With lab-grown diamonds, basically they take a diamond seed, as they call it, a small diamond chip or whatever, and then they put carbon on top of it, and they apply a lot of pressure and heat to simulate what it would be like towards the core of the earth to create a diamond, basically to have these crystals form, these carbon crystals. The thing with lab-grown diamonds over natural diamonds is usually lab-grown diamonds have less flaws than natural diamonds. So the other thing is that largely what they're going to be used for, and I think the biggest impact they're going to have is not so much on jewelry as much as on the tech industry, used as a replacement for transistors and our silicone and various different transistors and circuits and etc. It's a lot better of an option, more durable, etc. So let's get into the pros, the things we like, the things that make us go, yeah, this is the one for me. Starting with number one, it's less expensive. Usually lab-grown diamonds are going to be approximately anywhere from 50 to 70% less than a natural diamond is. Now, we could go on and on about how much diamonds are inflated in value to begin with, but the reality is you're going to get a much larger stone, probably a clearer stone, and a better cut at a lower price than you're going to get with a natural diamond. Number two, can't tell the difference. Now, many experts even can't tell the difference between natural diamonds and lab-grown or synthetic diamonds. It's brought up a whole load of issues because there's been a lot of mixing over the last 10 years or so, and it's really kind of put the diamond industry on its ear as far as how to control and verify what's real and what's not real, even though they're exactly the same. Next one, number three, it is more ethical because these can be produced in an industrial situation, which can or cannot be ethical. In theory, it is a little bit better than some of the things that have happened in the diamond mining industry in the past. It's not going to put it into countries where instability is caused by the mining of diamonds and controlling the supply. This is something that can be done pretty much anywhere in the world. Number four, less environmental impact. Now, this is kind of a thing. The reality is anybody who's actually seen a strip mine knows that there is no way that environment or area is going to go back to normal. We are talking about digging holes that are about 3 miles wide to 4 miles wide and just equally as deep. About all the good that could come out of that possibly is maybe a lake, but the reality is it does affect the groundwater, it affects the wildlife, it affects the plant life in that area in a way that cannot be reversed. Lastly, one of the reasons why you want diamonds in the first place is because they are more durable. Diamonds are going to take a lot more abuse than, say, a cubic zirconia or crystal or synthetic gemstone. They're just built better. They're stronger. There's a reason why we refer to it as one of the hardest substances on Earth. Now let's move on to the cons, the disadvantages, the things that you go, maybe not. Number one, the cost. Anytime you're talking about diamonds, lab-grown or otherwise, you're going to see a substantial amount of money that's going to be needed to invest over, say, a cubic zirconia or a crystal or something that is more synthetic. Lab-grown diamonds are expensive to produce to a degree because they're highly energy intense. So they're not going to necessarily be as cheap as a cubic zirconia. Number two, depreciation. This goes for diamonds too, and it's kind of a misconception. People go, oh, well, you want to get diamonds because you're real diamonds because you're investing. You're investing in real diamonds. The reality is that even real diamonds will depreciate between 40 and 80% as far as going out and trying to resell them. In most cases, the only thing that's going to increase in value in that piece of jewelry is maybe the material that it's set in. Example, gold. Gold will generally continue to go up in price over time. Diamonds, however, because the flight or the price is usually so overinflated, you're not going to get nearly the amount of money that you paid for them. Lab-grown diamonds, because they're so much cheaper, you're going to get even more depreciation and less resale value. Now, this is kind of a thing that we really don't talk about with body piercing because it really, most people don't sell or resell their body jewelry. There really isn't an aftermarket for it, so it's not really something we generally concern ourselves with. But if you're one of those people that likes to invest in things, this is not one of them. Number three, to the naked eye, it's difficult to tell the difference between a cubic zirconia and a lab-grown or real diamond, especially at the sizes that are usually used in body piercing jewelry. We're not talking about large carat settings. We're talking about usually, I would say most of them are at least 1/8 of a carat or smaller. They are very small gemstones. So it's very difficult to know the difference between that and a cubic zirconia and a regular or a lab-grown diamond or a natural diamond without really getting out an eye loop or being an expert in knowing the difference between the two and how they look. Now, as far as general look of them, I do think diamonds tend to have a little bit more variety of color than, say, a cubic zirconia. Cubic zirconia tends to have more of just pure white. But, you know, you're not going to really know the difference unless you're really getting in there and digging around and looking for the difference. Number four is one of the more obvious things. Lab-grown diamonds are just not as rare as natural diamonds because they can be produced and mass-produced on an industrial scale. It's going to be easier to find lab-grown diamonds, so they're not rare or they're not scarce or there's not a cartel making sure that they're scarce. And number five, I kind of alluded to this earlier, it takes a lot of energy to produce lab-grown diamonds. Basically, they are reproducing in a lab the same effect that you're going to have, I can't remember what level it is, but towards the center of the earth. A lot of pressure, a lot of heat, and that takes a lot of energy to produce. So it does have kind of that environmental impact from that standpoint. Well, I hope that kind of solves some problems. If you're thinking about buying jewelry and you're thinking about either doing a diamond or a lab-grown diamond, did this make a difference? Do you have either or? Can you tell the difference? Comment. Till next time, here's hoping all your piercing skill of ease and without a single issue. And if you're in the Des Moines, Iowa area, I hope to see you for your body piercing needs in the future. Have a good day, everybody. Take care, and we'll see you in the next video.